bride and groom up for a response to all those speeches.
Can you reach? All right. It's done. Whoop. It's official. And if any of you out there are wondering what I'm talking about, I'd like to know where you've been for the past several hours. I'm officially, I'm a duh. Right? You never heard that before?
No.
I promise this is the only joke I'll make like that for the rest of our life. But I had to, because, I mean, come on. I'll let you go first, because I got a mouthful.
First, we must thank you for all coming out to celebrate our day with us. To Ralph and Lorraine, who made it out here all the way from, believe it's Calgary? Or Edmonton, okay.
Edmonton.
I'm horrible.
West, that's the key.
Welcome to the East Coast. I hope you get to try some beaver tails while you're out here. Dad, keep your mind out of the gutter. To my family who came out from Newfoundland for our wedding, thank you all. Thanks for coming out by. And to my parents, thank you all for your assistance with the wedding.
Okay. It was a long time getting here today, and now that we're finally here, I want to extend some gratitude for the love and companionship and compassion that our friends have shown us through the years. I'm going to start with my girls, not to single the guys out here. You'll get yours. Jer, I'll save you for last. First, I'm going to start with my beautiful bridesmaid, Ryan Donato. I'm going to try my best not to make you cry, but at the same time, I make no promises. I have your something glue in here if you want it, need it. Our friendship started in the most random yet memorable ways. I was actually pregnant at the time and on my way to labor and delivery class when updating my Facebook status at only 5 months pregnant, Prego brain kicked in, and I neglected to type class. So at 5 months, my Facebook status pops up, Gena's headed to labor and delivery. This woman over here, who I didn't really talk to at the time, was instantly panicked and sent me this Facebook message, an urgent one at that, to see that everything was all right with the baby and I. From that simple showing of compassion and concern from a distant acquaintance that I knew from school came Tim Hortons dates at the hospital and eventually daily visits at our welfare chorus. It was a long year and a hard year, and one I will never forget for the rest of my life. I learned a lot in the year about love, strength, courage, and friendship. Lessons that not only got me through some tough decisions over the past year, but lessons that I will reflect on through my entire marriage. I look up to you a lot. I don't know if you know that. When I reflect on how we became friends, I'm not sure whether to blame it on baby brain or destiny. I do know that I'm glad I messed up my status in that evening because I would not want to get married without my favorite hermit by my side. I made you cry, I'm sorry. Next, moving right along, I'd like to thank my bridesmaid, dear friend, and only sister, Nikki. She has been with me since I was 3 years old. Most parents worry about sibling rivalry and only child jealousy. You didn't have to worry about that with us. I was content because now I had someone to dress up, play with, and who could do my bidding. I always loved Nikki, even when she went through that awkward phase between 1 and 22. But in all seriousness, Nikki has always held a special place in my heart. She was around for most of my firsts and my lasts, and although we don't always approach our shared problems in the same way, we don't hold that against each other. 2011 was perhaps the roughest year for Nikki and I, and I'm sure most of you do know that. Alone, I'm sure we'd have given up at some point, but between the two of us, we knew that even when no one in the world could understand our cries, we could call our sister. Many tearful rants between the two of us over the past year have made arriving here possible, and so I want to thank her for being there for me and trusting me to be there for her. I cannot promise her that our battles are over, but I can promise that I'll be there by her side to fight with her. Then there's my maid of honor, and I know how much she loves the spotlight being put on her, so she's right there wrestling with the children, or child in this case. Jenny McRae. Jenny and I go way back. She was always a quiet girl in school. In fact, a few people here have said, I know of Jenny, but I don't think I actually ever talked to her. That's because Jenny didn't really talk, so it's not you, it's her. I was always standing up for her, and anyone that got in her face would have to deal with me. We went with different crowds in high school, but kept in touch. And then in 2009, we both found ourselves in a family way. And as soon as we had our children at 1 month old and up, we used them as an excuse to spend time with each other every opportunity that we could, countless hours. This eventually resulted in us accepting Jenny as my sister wife. Sometimes I swear I spent more time with my sister wife than my own husband. Since the birth of Thing 1 and Thing 2, we have kept each other sane, and I know that during the past few months, I made at least one midnight call with a bridal meltdown. Jenny, I may have protected you in junior high, but in this past year, you have protected me from not only those around me, but most often, from myself. Were it not for you, I'm sure I'd be bald from tough choices and wedding decisions over the past year. I really mean that. This is a lot of hair, and it would have been gone. So that's my girls. I'm going to go ahead and let you...
Just wing it. Apparently I didn't even have to wing it.
We wrote it, and when he writes it, he says, do we have to worry?
I'd like to thank my boys for being there throughout the years. Even if I didn't need you all the time, it was nice to know you were there. Donald, who I barely spoke with, was like, hey, haven't seen you in a long time. How would you like to be a groomsman? And here you are. I think a few other people, like Sasha, our slightly accident-prone limo driver this morning. Deborah, thanks for the time off. See you Monday-ish next week, you know. Can't think of any personal stories, but my couch is always open, Jeremy.
Jeremy. Oh, Jeremy. I promised I'd save you for last. I wasn't kidding. Breaking tradition, I'd like to also thank David's best man, Jer. For although he's David's best man, he's one of both of our best friends. I've known him longer. He's known of him. I've known Jer for years now, since he broke it down to Backstreet Boys up in the upper window of junior high. And I said, who is that crazy fool up there? Just, in his own little world, all by himself. That's Jer. His own little world. His own drum. Jer's a great friend. You always hear good friends bail you out of jail. The true friends know where the bodies are buried. I can now say, and I'm sure a bunch of you know this, I can say with full confidence that I know Jer will help you deal with the body. I won't go any further than that. Yeah. Thank you, Jer. Great friend, even though sometimes you make me want to knock your teeth into yesterday. You're always there for me, even if you do cut it a little close.
I love you.
We're done. We made it.